do that.
What is the pleasure of the Honorable Soto, the distinguished Minority Floor Leader?
Thank you, Mr. President. It grieves my heart to disagree. I think I'd rather call for the previous question, a motion to table. It has the same effect, and you can bring it up anytime. But we did not say that we did not follow the Supreme Court decision. It will not. It will say. It will not say that we archived, as the interpretation of the Supreme Court is kung ano yung word ng archive. Iba yung archive nila eh. Hindi pa nga adjourn, archive na sa kanila eh. Hindi ba? Hindi pa tapos yung session eh. Hindi naman ganun ang archive sa atin. Sa kanila ganun. Iba yung rules ng Congress eh. Iba yung kaysa sa rules nila eh. So, hopefully, baka pwedeng we can find a middle ground between the proposal of Senator Alan Cayetano and my motion to table, which has a higher precedence than the motion to dismiss.
But Mr. President, that is not consistent with the immediate character of the decision. The decision says it is immediately executory. A motion to table, hindi po immediate yun eh. Kaya sabi nga ni Senator Cayetano, somehow there should be some action. The people are waiting for some kind of a closure before this chamber, because that particular decision is directed to no one but to the Senate, Mr. President.
Sir President.
Before the chair recognizes any member, the parliamentary status is that a motion was made by the Honorable Marcoleta, which he is willing to amend, and a higher order of precedence motion was made by the Honorable Minority Floor Leader. Both are pending, and to afford time for both the Minority Leader and the original movant to perhaps consider and find a compromise as agreed upon earlier, can we proceed with the interpellations and interjections? Manifestations, if you will, of the other members who had manifested to so interject and make known their position through a manifestation or interpellation.
Yes, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Therefore, I withdraw the call for the previous question, and then allow that to proceed. But then again, just a point of information for our colleagues. The Supreme Court has just received a motion for a TRO for the Senate not to take up this particular case. It was filed yesterday by the former Associate Senior Justice Tony Carpio, also Ombudsman Conchita Carpo Morales, Commissioner Heidi Mendoza, religious leaders, former military and public servants, Ms. Sheila Magno, students and the youth and the academe. They have filed a TRO with the Supreme Court, and we are awaiting something to that effect. It might come out today, and then we are, again, inuunahan natin. So hopefully, yes, we can proceed, Mr. President.
Thank you, Minority Floor Leader. Your manifestation is duly noted. Senator Cayetano,
Sir President, let me agree
wind up.
let me just agree with both you and the Minority Leader. And of course, thank Senator Marcoleta for his openness. Ang intention ko lang naman po in proposing an amendment, wala pa yung actual words, no? But Mr. President, kasi kung pwede, pag bumoto tayo, dahil mabigat po yung pagbobotohan natin at most of us have dug in already sa legal opinion natin sa boto natin. So kung mali ang framing kung ano pagbobotohan, mahirapan din tayo lahat. So meaning I don't mind if I vote for or against the proposition, at least malinaw kung anong pagbobotohan ko. So like I would vote to follow the Supreme Court decision. I'm thinking whether I'll vote to dismiss because the Supreme Court said it did not exist, void ab initio. But I don't want to vote against it because if I vote against it, it is live. And precisely the Supreme Court said immediately executory. No? So let me yield the floor para dun makapagtanong yung iba. But I'm hoping some of us can come up with language that will be acceptable. We might not have a unanimous vote, but at least klaro kung anong pinagbobotohan natin. Thank you very much, Senator Marcoleta.
Mr. President, just a point of information.
Senator Pia Cayetano is recognized for her point of information.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'm happy to be corrected. We have on the floor, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 previous majority floor leaders. Senator Alan was a majority floor leader. The minority floor leader was Senator Soto was a majority floor leader. Senator Kiko was a majority floor leader. Senator Subiri, former Senate President, was also a majority floor leader. I hope I didn't forget anyone. Lauren was a majority floor leader. So on that note, I'm happy to be corrected, but the rules, to my knowledge, do not limit us to a particular kind of motion. Rule 31, the title is Precedence of Motions, so it lists the motions that take precedence. Rule 32 is the privilege motion. It doesn't mean that we cannot have a different motion. So just put that on the table so that those who want to be creative can continue this discussion later on when we get to that point that we are deciding if we will rephrase, if we choose to look for a more appropriate wording. But I'd like to include this in for everyone's consideration, that there doesn't seem to be a limitation on what kind of motion we can present to the body. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Cayetano. Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we recognize the distinguished gentleman from Davao, Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Senator De La Rosa is recognized. What is your pleasure, sir?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just would like to make a clarification, Mr. President, that it is very clear to me during our caucus, we have agreed that today, on this date, we are going to tackle this Supreme Court ruling, and we have to debate on this, and we have to decide on this today. It was not part of the agreement that whenever the House of Representatives file a motion for reconsideration, ay ma-install yung ating plano to decide today. So bakit nagbago yung usapan, Mr. President? I'm just asking.
Your Honor, the Senate is a collegial body and decides everything by dividing the House. The current parliamentary status is that we have 2 motions that have not yet been acted upon. One has precedence over the other. Pinahintulutan ng dalawang movement na magpatuloy muna yung pagdedebate. So darating po tayo sa punto, matapos ang debate, na pagbobotohan natin yung dalawang motion po na yan. Ayon sa precedence ng rules natin. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, just very quickly.
Mr. President,
Just very quickly.
Is this already your...
Just
I
an
think-
interjection on the point raised by Senator De La Rosa.
Mr.
Majority
President,
Leader.
if I may appeal, Mr. President, to distinguished gentleman from Pampanga, Mr. President, because next to interpolate is the distinguished lady from Iloilo, Mr. President,
quick
Senator Risa, and
manifestation.
then it's his turn, Mr. President.
Just a quick manifestation,
The
Mr. President.
gentleman may proceed for his
Because
quick
Because it
manifestation.
has been referred repeatedly about what we agreed on in the caucus. Mr. President, we agreed to decide on this matter. And if the decision is to lay it on the table, that is a decision of the Senate in plenary. In other words, we didn't agree on deciding that we will decide on a motion to dismiss. We didn't agree that we would decide on holding it in abeyance. We said we will decide.
Your Honor, that's precisely what the chair said. We will be
Thank you.
deciding on these pending motions at the proper time after debate. Senator Ontiveros
Yes, if
is recognized for her interpolation and interjection if Senator Marcoleta so desires.
Yes, Mr. President.